let's start the session for today. Meanwhile, others can join. Just give me a second here. Okay, let's start the session for today. Meanwhile, others can join parallelly. So in the yesterday session, we started with the topic of security administration in the Fusion application team. And as part of the security administration, I was explaining you what are the concepts that we have to talk in the concept of security administration or in the module of security administration team. One is user account management, like how to create the user accounts in the system. And then I told you we have to talk about the concept of role management in the system. The entire security in the Fusion application is working on what concept team? I told you it is working on a concept called RBAC, correct? Roles based access control. So when the user account gets created in the system, whatever the roles that we are assigning to the employee, depending upon that roles only, the access to the functionalities or the screens in the application is being provisioned to that particular user account. So as part of that, I told you how many ways we have in the Fusion application for the user accounts to get created. One is manually creating the user account, and the other is system automatically generating the user account. Like if you are hiring the employee record in the system, for the worker records or the employee records, HR admins no need to create the accounts manually, I told you. Correct, team? Whenever they're hiring the employee in the system will take care of that user account creation for the employees or workers. But for that also, we have to enable that functionality too. I told you we have a task in the system called enterprise. In this respective task, this feature we have to keep it as yes. Then only system will create the user accounts automatically for the employees. But other than employees, like example, our implementation users, we are not the employees in the client's organization, but we require access to the application to implement all the modules in the system or configure all the modules in the system. Then how I told you, team, we have the manual approach. Directly without having the employee or worker record also, we can create the user accounts team. Correct. Now, yesterday we created one user account, and to that user account, we added the rules. Within the concept of the rules, what I told team, by default in the system, Oracle standardly delivers certain roles in the application team. For each of the module or for each of the business area, Oracle by default delivers the standard rules. But within the concept of roles, again, we have different types of roles available, like job role, data role, abstract, aggregate privileges, or auto provisioning concept like that. So I told you this concept we have to take separately once we complete our functional modules team. Now, when I'm creating a user account yesterday, what is the user account I created, team? I created trio.tech. This is the user account I created yesterday, team. And to this user account, I have assigned whatever the roles I want to give access to the user, I have assigned. So I logged in with the user, I got the access, everything fine. Now see, team, let us go to that security administration and let us try to understand some more concepts in that respective security administration area user account. Where we have to navigate, we should go to tools, correct? Under tools, we have something called security console, right? And under security console, I told you here we have users, right team? So you can come to the user account and you can search the user account which you created yesterday. So what is the user I created? Trio.tech. So here I explained you how to edit the user account, what kind of changes I can perform to that user account, or within this actions button, a HR admin, what are all the things that they can perform to the employee's user account, everything I told you to. And then I will try to create one more user account team now. Okay, one more user account. Okay, person type none. And now you see same account, same first name and same last name I will give. Trio and test. First name Trio and last name test I am giving. Now see, sorry, not test. TrioTech we created, right? Yesterday. So now you see. Now see team, now I'm creating a new user account, and that user account also I'm giving the same first name and last name. Yesterday I created one user with the first name as Trio and last name as Tech. So Trio.tech is the user account taken up. Now second account I'm creating team. Let's suppose that employee name also first name is Trio and last name is Tech. Then here what happens, see now, the combination first name dot last name and in between some alphabet character A inserted. How system is doing that one? Who told first of all, whenever the user account creating in the system, the moment we pass first name and last name, automatically that combination should take as a first name dot last name username. Who told? My client is telling, Kumar, I want all my employees email IDs, whatever the work email IDs will be there while I'm hiring the employee, that emails to be the username of my employees. Okay. Or let's say password complexity also. When I'm giving the password, my client is telling, in my application, I want the complexity very high. Like I want the password should be at least minimum 4 characters. Within that also 3 uppercase, 2 lowercase, or 2 numerics and 3 special characters, something like that he's deriving or he's asking to configure. Can I able to achieve all that things? We can. How? When I'm creating a user account team, there is something here called user category. And by default, the option also coming as default category team. And whatever the user account I'm defining, I'm creating under that respective category of default. From where it is coming and what will be there in that category. Here we have something called user categories. Under users, we have something called user categories. So this attribute or whatever the options currently we are seeing under this team. Okay, the user category is coming from here. Rather than going here, I will try to open one more window team. As it is a cloud-based application, you can also do simultaneously the tasks. Okay, now I'm going to user category. Let me cancel it first of all. Now I will go to user categories. See team. The moment I came to user categories, I can able to see multiple things here. Default, SVBJ, training, category. Whenever you working in your client's application team, in the real time, when you are working in the project, when you come to this user category team, by default, you will see only this default category. That is the standard Oracle delivered category in the system. That's why see there is no cross icon coming. I cannot delete the default category. Whereas other 4 options, whatever you are seeing, are customizable. Someone like you and me, when they practicing the security or configuring the security module, they have defined as per their requirement or practicing purpose. These things you won't find. But I will tell you what we can configure in this default category and when we have to create the custom category in the real time. So first, let me get into this default category team. So while I'm creating a user account, okay, the moment I come to add user account, in the user category, default is coming. That is from here team. Here we have user categories default. Now click on that one. Then you will enter into user category details section. This is a default user category details section. Here we have 4 sections to see team. Details, password policy, notifications, and users. All right, team. So the very first is details. Okay. So what here we have in the details section, team? I have something called user category information, like user category name, user category generation rule, generate system generation rule, like that. Let me edit this one. Let me edit this. So here, team, in the main details of first tab, we have something called here user. This is a user category name default. Okay. Then user name generation rule. See, currently what set up in the system for username generation rule? First name dot last name. So that's why whenever I'm creating a user account under this category of default, the moment I given first name, last name, automatically the username taking up as first name dot last name team. Okay, this is coming from here, first name dot last name. We have other options also, team. Email, first letter of the first name and last name, then person or party number. Person or party number means for the employees in the system. Okay, when you hiring the employees in Fusion application, we have a concept called person number stream. That is nothing but employee IDs or employee numbers. So that employee number will become the user ID of the employee if you choose person number as a generation. So these are the available username generation rules in the application team. Among these 4, client have to choose what is their business requirement, whether they want to go with first name dot last name or email, first letter of the first name and last name, and person or party number. Now see, team, username generation rule, I will keep it as email. Okay. And then let's say I'm saving and close. Click on done. Okay. Now let me go to users. Okay. And let me try to create a user account. And let's check it out, team. So I will give Trio, then Tech. Now it will come username as that, but email is mandatory now. So I'm giving something like TrioTech@gmail.com. Some mail ID of the employee I'm giving or the user I'm giving. The moment I click on tab, now see what taken up here, username, whatever the email that I have given, that has taken up as a username. Why? I have changed that settings. So in the user category level, you are going to configure the username generation rule, password policy, everything you can control from here in the system. What is your client requirement? Accordingly, we have to define in that category team. Now let me cancel it. Further, we can discuss on that user categories, what we have. Now let me go to again to the default, edit. So right, that is email. Now let me put back to first name dot last name only. And then team, generate system username when generation rule fails. What is this one, team? First of all, when the generation rule fail, username generation rule when fail, just now I have shown you, team. Yesterday I create a user account, team. This is user 1. Okay, Trio.tech. So today I'm creating one more user 2. In real time also, team, you might experience this kind of issues. Like employee names will be common. Many people will have common name. Let's suppose I have something called team. Ramesh Kumar is there, one employee by name. Okay. Let's say one employee joining the organization. That person first name is Ramesh Kumar. Ramesh. Then last name is Kumar. Let's assume, team, I'm hiring an employee in my organization. That employee name, first name is Ramesh, last name is Kumar. So for that person, system generated with Ramesh.Kumar. That's okay, pretty much fine. But there will be many Ramesh Kumars, right? Usually names will be quite commonly, we'll be encountering common names for many people. Now let's suppose, team, after Ramesh Kumar, one more person joining the organization, team. That person also have same first name as Ramesh, last name as Kumar. Now tell me what system should do. Already Ramesh.Kumar, this account already assigned to this employee. Now this is second employee with same name, he joining the organization. HR hiring the employee with same first name and last name. Now what should happen to his user account? User account, you given the generation rule with first name dot last name. So for every employee in the system, this particular combination is taking up team. Now in this case, when the duplication occurs, what system should do? That is what system is doing. The practical example I can show you here. Go to users, try to create the user account. So yesterday I created TrioTech. The same details I am giving again. Second user. What system is taking? Trio.a.tech. In this case also team Ramesh.a.Kumar. So that if this has to be workable, then in this category level, you have to enable this flag team. In the user category level, edit, generate system username. Means whenever the rule failing, the rule actually was what employees, first name dot last name. Let me save it and come again. What is the rule actually? First name dot last name team. But here what happening in the case duplication when it is occurring, the generation rule failing for the second employee because already that account exists in the system. In this case, you are allowing the system to take up one available combination team. See, generate system user. If you have not checked box this one at the category level, you are not checking box this one, then system will not create any user account for the second employee. I told you, right? Any data discrepancy issues are there, system cannot create the user account. Now, this is one of the practical example team. You have not enabled this flag, means you are not allowing the system to generate the username when the rule fails. Now here duplication occurring. System, what it will do? System will not create any account for this user. In this case, as a HR, I have to go to manually and I have to define the user account team. So if you want to edit it and put it back. Now you might get a question. Kumar, let's say one more person join. Third person also same name. Then Ramesh.B.Kumar, Ramesh.C.Kumar, Ramesh.D. Like that sequence will go from A to Z. Like that it will behave in the system. I should not use the word behave. It will be giving the user accounts in that particular formatting. So this is something system generates the username whenever the rule fails with the respective combination, particularly in the case of duplications occurring in the system. Okay. Now team, these are the things we have to configure in the details tab under this category. Next, we have something called password policy team. If you could remember, yesterday when I created a user account of TrioTech, I got triggered with password expiration exactly 60 days or 90 days from yesterday's date team. Where that is coming team? Here we can set up in the default user category only. Even the password policy related settings we can define. See, password policy. Click on edit, right? And here, see currently in this system, days before password expiration. How many days you want your password to be resetted by your employees? I'm giving 90 days. Or if my client is telling Kumar, every 60 days in my organization, password should be expired. Employees have to reset their password. Or every 120 days, or I don't want to give any expiry. Once it get created, let it be. If they want to reset, they can reset. But system should not expire their password. Then give some bigger numbers like this. Means these many days, any employee will not work in any company, right? That's what. So I'm giving 90 days team. So what happens, every 90 days, system will expire the password of the employee. Employee have to reset their passwords team. Even you might be experiencing this kind of situations in your current companies also. You'll be getting the notifications, right? Your password for your corporate account is about to expire. Please reset, something like that. That is also coming from here team. Days before password expiration, you can set up here. And an employee should be intimated about that. Let's suppose 90 days is the policy. Today I hired the employee team, account got created to him. So 90 days, the password will expire. So employee should be intimated before that 90 days, your password is about to expire something. You can set up the warning days before password expiry. So starting before this date onwards, 80th day onwards, every day system will send a notification to the employee in the bell icon as well as to his email stating that your password is about to expire, reset the password. That is warning notifications, how many days before onwards you want to trigger. And before hours also you can send. Employee ignoring from last 10 days, he is not updating. On the 90th day, on that specific time, it is expiring thing. Hours before also you can send, 10 hours before, 5 hours before the password expiring, you can trigger that notification. So this is expiration days. This is how many days before password expiry warning notification should be triggered. How many hours before the warning or the expiry is coming to be happen, you want to trigger the notification, you can set up here. And then team, password complexity. These are the available combinations in the system team, like simple, complex, very complex, custom. Simple means minimum 8 characters and minimum 1 digit. Complex, if I go, minimum 8 characters, letters is uppercase 1, minimum 8 digits 1. Very complex, if I go, minimum 8 characters, 1 uppercase, 1 digit, 1 special character. But Oracle given the provision of custom also team. You can decide, I want 1 lowercase, 1 uppercase, 8 minimum characters in that, minimum 1 digit, minimum special characters 2. Something if you want to have your own custom complexity setup, you can also define team. Where it will impact, now I'm changing it to complex team, save and close. Where it will impact, click on done. So whenever you creating the user account in the system, here, when you giving the password, it will throw up an error. If you want, I can show you something like I'm giving Kumar Payo. Okay. So I'm going something with the test. Okay. Then test I'm going. See, just I have given test, T-E-S-T, password. What is the error it thrown me here? Password must be at least 8 characters long. Password must contain at least 1 numeric character. This is confirm password I have given wrong. Okay. Both I will give one only. Test and test. Okay. Now save. Now there is some error coming up here to me. Again, what is that? Password must be at least 8 characters, must contain 1. From where it is coming team? In this category level, you define that rule, complexity rule. Not only here, whatever the existing user accounts that you created team, if as a HR admin, if you go and if you try to reset the password, you can come and you can reset the password, right? See, complexity changed, password policy changed to complex. At least 8 characters, 1 uppercase and 1 number. This complex is coming from where? From this category. From this category, if I go to user category, default, password policy, here I set up as complex. So whatever that I set up at this category level team, when I create the user account in that category, these all rules will be validated there. Now I'm keeping it to simple. Okay. And then team, disallow last password. If I select this one, every 90 days, employees have to reset the password, I'm telling. Correct. When I select this one, every time, for every 3 months, when employee resetting the password, they have to come with a fresh password. Whatever the last used passwords, if you trying to again using the same password when you resetting, system will not allow. Disallow last password. You cannot use the old password again to reset. Every time you have to use the new password team. If you are not checking box this one, yes, whatever the old password you are having, you can reset with the same old password if you want to continue. And then team, administrator can manually reset the password. I have unchecked this one now. Correct. Admin can manually reset the password. Now you see team. I unchecked that option, right? Administrator can manually reset the password. Now, as a HR admin team, I want to reset one of the existing employees' password for user account. So let's say I'm going to my user, TrioTech, which I created. As an admin, I'm going to actions and I'm clicking on reset password team. See, this manually changed the password. Yesterday it came to me. Now it is not coming. It's got graded out. I cannot change. So this restriction also will come from the user category. So if you don't want to allow anyone in the system to manually change the password of their user accounts as part of the security restriction, at the category level, you go and switch off that functionality. Now let me put it back. User category, default, then password policy, edit, and then team. I'm allowing that. Admins can manually reset the password. I'm enabling it. Now you see team. Click on done. Now come to users and try to reset the password of the employee team. Go to action, then reset the password. Now see, the option came back. I can able to manually reset the password. So this is also restricting from the user category level, that is at the default category, because our user account we created under this category only yesterday. So that is about details tab, where we will configure the generation rule, generation fails, what happens, that rules, and the password policy here we will set up. And then team, we have something called notifications. Okay, with respective to security module in the system, we have several transactions with respective to security, like creating a user account is one transaction, or employee clicking on forgot username or forgot password, or HR resetting the password of the employee, or employee resetting the password of the himself. Everything are different transactions team. So whenever these transactions are being made in the system, the respective notifications will trigger to the concerned employees team. So here you can enable that notifications and disable that notifications in the system with related to security. So come to notifications. First of all, we will see what are all the different notifications we have in the concept of security team. Click on edit, and then we have something called notification preferences, and there is something enable notifications. And here you have notification templates team. Means what? Here, if you go to the second column, event, these are the different tasks, transactions in the security module. See, forgot username. On the main home screen, when you are signing in team, you have the button, right? Forgot password, forgot username. So whenever employee did that forgot username, employee will receive an email to reset the username or reset the password team. Then if manager created the new account to the employee, this particular email will trigger. We have a scope to edit the template, and you can check the body of the email. And if you want to customize that notification template also, you can perform from here. Second column will refer the events team. What are the different events? See, even password generated, password expired to the employee, or password expiry warning employee receiving, or employee reset the password, password reset confirmation, or forgot username, or new user created. These are the different transactions that happens with respective to the employee user accounts in the system team. For example, employee got hired in the system. System created the user account to the employee. How employee will know what is his user account, how to log in into the system? How? System will send the notification to that employee team when the user account created. That is this one, new user created. Okay. Whatever the templates names that you see starting with ORA, they are Oracle delivered standard templates for the security related transactions team. Whatever other than that you see, we have the option to customly create the notification templates for the transactions. But to that extent, usually no clients will go, but we have the provision too. So here, new user creation, this one is. Okay. Then subject line, when the email come, what is the subject line, that also you can see. If I go to this template, click on that one team, I can see how that notification will come to the employee team. So currently it was disabled. See, if you enable this one, then only in the system, whenever new account created to the concerned employee's email, system will trigger the email notification team. If you are not enabling, disabled, then whenever new account created, the employee will not receive any notification. You can come to that new account template and you can enable and disable team. See, notification to be sent when a new account request is processed. And when an employee receiving the notification in the email, how that body of the email will be. You want it in which language? You can customize the notification language team. Then see, subject line, Oracle Fusion Applications welcome email, and message, dear, first name and last name. Congratulations, your Oracle applications has been successfully created. If you want to customize this one team, this is, we will call it as basically a kind of expression language. We have one concept in the system. In order to hard code any attributes from the database, you have to use this expression logic conditions, but that is a different technical concept way around team. But you can see one sample email. I will show you how it looks like. See, this is one of the sample email team. Whenever an employee user account created in the system, application will send the notification in this way. See, the message subject is what, email subject is what team? Oracle applications welcome email. From where it is coming, see the message subject line, Oracle Fusion applications welcome email. And then the body of the email, dear, my first name and last name, whatever the name of the employee. Congratulations, your application account has been successfully created. Please follow the link below to reset the password, and the application URL you can see here team. And from email ID will be instance, our server's email ID. So in our case, it is this one, fa-esev-SAS demo. But during that point of time, we have used this environment team, EUTH dev 47, that will be the from address coming from. So this is the body of the email. If you want to customize this one, something you want to add, anything else, then you can able to customize the message of the body or the subject line of the everything team. So you can enable or disable the notifications from here. Like that, not only in the time of new account creation team, when employee reset the password, when employee click on forgot username, when employee password expired, for several things. If you study the events, you can understand different transactions whenever happening in the system with respective to user related things. Employee will receive the notification by the system to his email. So how that email to be? First of all, do you want to enable that notifications in the system or not? Simply, if you disable this one team, notification preferences, if you uncheck in the entire system with respective to the security module, all notifications will be switched off. Means whatever the transactions happening in the system, HR hired the employee, system created the user account, but employee will not receive any email from the system because you switched off the notifications. So this is the global switch for the entire notifications in the system with respective to security team. Enable it at the individual template level. You can go and again you have the option to enable and disable. It's a forgot username is there. So do you want to trigger that when employee request for forgot username? Do you want the notification to trigger or not? You have the option C. If you enable it, then you can see the enable flag here coming up. See, enable flag. If you disable that one, you can disable at that event level. See, enable, I'm removing it, save and close. So only for this template, I can control enable and disable team. So you can go to individual templates and you can enable and disable the notifications that you want to trigger to the employee or not. That is about notifications team. And in this system, as of now, who are all the, how many user accounts that are created under this category? If you want to check, you can come to users team. So see here, many user accounts you can see, as it is a demo instance team training environment, many people will be used, and Oracle also will give with some existing employees data. These all are the different employee user accounts that are created under this category that you can check in the users team. So this is about user category. Now, some of you might get a question in the mind. What is that? Then Kumar, what is the use of this? Why people are creating and why Oracle given to create the custom category option team? I will tell you. These things you won't find in the real time. Only default one will be there. Now let's suppose I will tell you with some requirement team. So our client is, let's say, Tata Group. We implementing our project to this client team. So this Tata Group having couple of companies, TCS India Private Limited, then let's say Tata Motors Private Limited. Let's assume two companies are there for my client. Now, coming to the user account rules, my client is telling, Kumar, for all the employees in these two companies, okay, whenever the user accounts are being created by the system or manually if you define, the rules should be like this. Means username should be email ID of the employee, and what else we have? Password, every 90 days password should expire. Okay, then every 10 days I want to trigger the notification before the expiry, and before 5 hours of the password expiry I should send the notification. And I don't want to allow admins to reset the password. Admins to reset password, no. I don't want to give anyone any access to reset the password. And then disallow last password. I don't want to allow the old passwords to use. Disallow last password. Okay. Yes. Disallow last password. Okay. I'm keeping it as no. Okay. So these are the rules that my client have for the employees that who are going to hire in their organization's team in the two companies. At the same time, we have our implementation accounts. These all are for employees team. Okay. These are for employees. You can call it as worker or employee, anything, who are working in TCS and Tata Motors. And client is telling the same user account rules in the case of implementation users. Means our team means we are not the employees in the client organization. We don't have employee record in the system, just user accounts team. Not only implementation users team, in the real-time usability of the application, in order to schedule certain processes in the system or in order to do certain transactions in the system, IT team will have certain technical accounts also created. Means no employee account will be created for that. Only just user accounts to access certain things in the system. That we will call it as admin accounts or admin user accounts or technical user accounts we will call. Means what team? In order to do certain process submissions across the different modules or to have a super user access like all areas that they want to access in. A part of the employee accounts they have, usually they also have some admin user accounts. Means what? Just a user account to access couple of things in the system. Okay, so either to our team or like that without having any employee record, only user accounts if they are maintaining in the system. For these type of user accounts, I don't want these rules. For my employees, I am telling email ID. But for these people, I want first name dot last name. The user accounts for these people should be first name dot last name. And then password expiration never expire. I don't want expiration to these people. When the password is never expired, then no need of any notifications triggering. Days before, hours before, nothing. And then administrator can reset password manually. I want to give yes for these type of user accounts. Disallow last password, I want to set up as yes for these things. Then notifications here, I want for all people to trigger notifications. But in this case, notifications I want to switch off. Means when the implementation user accounts I'm creating, for those people, I don't want to send any notifications. TT. Two sets of requirements your client is having. For employees, they are expecting these rules to be there for their user account creation or the password policy. Other than employee accounts, implementation user or the admin super user accounts, the requirement is like that. Here username is email ID they are expecting. For these users, user ID should be first name dot last name. Then how can I achieve that team? How can I achieve that team? That is why Oracle given us the scope to define the custom categories in the system. But one important rule or the concept I want to share with everyone is default category. Like whenever you are hiring the employees in the system, by default, all these people will be created under default category. That is why Oracle given the name as default category team. That is Oracle delivered standard one. All the employee accounts, I'm telling again, all the employee accounts, okay, will be created under default category. Because employee accounts, we are not creating manually in the system. Application only creating automatically when we hiring the employees in the system. By default, whenever system creating the user accounts to the employees, all the user accounts will be created under this default category, which is delivered by Oracle. So all these rules that which you are expecting for your employees, you go and define in the default category level. Okay. On top of this, whatever the manually creating user accounts are there, for these kinds of requirement, you create your own custom category and create these implementation user accounts, admin user accounts with these rules in your custom category team. Okay. By default, all the employee accounts will be created under default category. So whatever the rules that you are expecting for your employee user accounts, define under default category. All other implementation users or admin user accounts, if you want to define that, you create your own custom user category and create these user accounts under that category team. So here you can define, click on create, then I will give the name edit, then category name I will give something like implementation. Don't give space team, system will not allow. Implementation users category. I'm creating the user category name like this. Description, you can write anything. Next URL is not required. Then username generation rule. My requirement is what we first name dot last name. Okay. Generate system username I want. Okay. Then save and close. Then next password policy for my custom category team. Click on save and close, and then go to password policy, then click on edit. Here, what is my client requirement for these accounts? Password should never expire. So what should I give? These are mandatory attributes. So I give some bigger numbers, never expire means some 999 or something, or 49s or whatever it is. So when I give this one team, do you think these are relevant? No. First of all, employee will not work that many days in the organization. Means 30 years almost. Not that, yeah, almost 30 years, I believe. Yes. 4 nines divided by 365. If you do, how many years it will be? So that many days, first of all, employee will not be in the organization. So I'm giving never expiry rule for that. If this is employee not triggering, then no need to touch anything. To warning expiration, he won't reach till that many days. Then password complexity. For implementation users, I want password complexity is complex. Then I'm giving. Disallow last password. I'm selecting yes. Administrator can manually reset the password. I'm setting up yes. Whatever the rules I want. And then notifications. I'm telling that I don't want notifications to trigger to anyone. Simply I will click on edit. Okay. Simply I will click on edit rather than going to the individual level. Straight away I will disable here. That's all. save. So notifications, whatever the user accounts creating in this category, notifications will not trigger. I disable. Now, if I come to users team, nothing is there because it is a fresh category I defined in the system. As of now, no user defined. Click on done. Now, if you see your user category showing up here team. Now, whenever you manually defining the user accounts, like all these user accounts, when you defining, come to add user account. And now you can see here in the user category, your category also. Now you create under implementation category, whatever that you want. Let's say I want Kumar TrioTech something. Okay. Now see Kumar.TrioTech. Then password complex I have given, that rules will come. So whatever the rules that I define now under the category that I define, for this user account, everything will be levied accordingly. So this is the scope where we can define custom user category. But by default in the system, whatever the user account system creating, they will be defined under the default category. So whenever client give you a requirement, configure whatever the client requirement for the user account, password policy, notifications, everything in the default category team. So that for all their employees in the system, in this, whatever you are maintaining, that rules will be taken up and the user account creation, password policies accordingly will work. Whatever the manually creating user accounts you have. If you have a separate requirement, you are not having this kind of requirement from the client, something different or unique requirement you have. Then define your own custom category and create that implementation users or admin user accounts in that category. So that is what the concept of user categories in the system. Okay. And one more thing I want to talk about here is team. I think someone was asking me yesterday, Kumar, like for this particular role, what access a user can have? Or for this particular role, if I assign, by adding this role, what access they have? You can able to access all the roles from this roles tab here. Go to roles and here you can see team, whatever. If you click on this drop down, see job roles, duty roles, abstract roles, privileges. That is what I told, right? We have types of roles. These are the things you can see. So any role you can search from here team, whatever the Oracle delivered roles. Let's say I want to search with human resource manager. The role information you can see here. Or if I want to search with the compensation administrator, then I can come and I can search here team. So whenever I edit that role, I can see the information about that one. Now I'm searching with human resource manager, only choose the role starting with ORA. Other two are copied roles. Like whenever we have to create the custom roles in the system as per the client requirement, that things will be done. Now I'm picking up the standard role that is starting with ORA. So when I select that role team, I can see whatever the role. What happened? This is someone remove. Okay, I have many things here. Okay, right. So here, when I select that role team, I can see here all the privileges within that. We have a concept basically. What are all the screens on the application that the user can access? You can check out the list of privileges thing. But this thing we have to discuss elaboratively in the topic of role management. And within this, we have something called a simulator, compare roles, copy roles. So we can take up the roles topic separately, team. So as of now, I want everyone to be in the situation that how the concept of security administration is working in the system, like how the user accounts are creating in the system. What are the ways we have for employees, how it will be for other than employees, implementation user team or other admin or any super user accounts if you want to define without an employee record attached to them, how to define them. And by adding the rules to that respective users, how the access is being provisioned to them. To that extent, I want everyone to be clear so that we can start with our modules implementation in the system. And post configuring the modules, we can take up the topic of role management in detailedly, and we will perform certain scenarios or configurations in the system by customizing the rules. Okay. And one more thing I want to tell you, team. Yesterday, I think Manoj was asking me, Kumar, can we add the user account to the employee? Like I have created first a user account, then I hired the employee. Can I link the existing account to the employee or something in that way? We can do, I told you. How can we do, team? A part of this thing, you know now how to create the user account, now you created the user account. Now you want to tag this user account to the employee team. Like when you hiring the employee, if user account created, you don't want that user account, you come search and delete that account. But if not, while hiring, I told you, due to some data discrepancies, sometimes user accounts will not get created. At that point of time, you can define the account here and you can tag that account to the employee record. How, team? Go to home. We have one task to do that one. Come to this particular settings and action. And here we have something called setup and maintenance. Going forward from tomorrow, every setup that I'm going to do in the system, it might be core HR, absence, payroll, compensation, goals, any module you take. Every day we should come to settings and action, administration, and we should go to setup and maintenance. This is our FSM task, functional setup manager task. Whatever the list of tasks I'm showing in the sheet here, let's say core HR, if you take, these all are the setups or the configurations we have to do. Every task will be available here, team. By going to setup and maintenance, you can search all your setups in the system. Okay, here you can able to search. This introduction I will take up tomorrow. But once you come here, team, there will be a right side taskbar here. Click on the right side taskbar, and here you have some search area available, team. Go to search here, and from here you can search any tasks in the system. We have something called manage user. There is a task available called manage users. You should come to manage users here, and you can search for the employee record in the system. In any employee record you want to search, you can search it. Let's say I'm searching with the name of John, because it's a demo instance, already employees data is there. But in your case, if you hire an employee, user account is not created. Or let's say you hired the employee, user account created by the system, but you don't want that account to the employee. You want to change that account to the employee. Something. Come here and search person. You search for your employee team. So let's say I'm searching with an employee with the name some John, Andrews John is there. So click on that person record team. Okay. Click on that person record team. Then you can see the user details of that Andrews John. So from the core HR module, from the employee person level, all these information will be coming to you, like employee's last name, first name, middle name, his email, when he hired in the system, okay, his phone number, then his user details, even his employment information also, in which company in this system he hired, in which business unit, in which job. These all are worker information team, employee assignment information. You can come to the employee and here see currently our employee having account team. John Andrews having an account. So I want to correct that account. You can remove that and you can correct. Or else you want to tag the existing account which you created, you want to tag to Andrews. Rather than using this one, click on link user account, click on select that one, and here you search it in. Our account is there, no? TrioTech. Let me search. See, TrioTech came here. What we created. Select it, click on OK. Click on OK. Okay. Now I linked this account to Andrew's team. Further, these things you won't understand now because these all are coming from the employee HR level, core HR module level, because this person hired in the system already. So just I want to show you as someone asking me the question. So you can use this link user account and then you can click on save and close team. Okay. We will talk this one in the concept of roles again, but just how to link that I'm trying to show you team. Now see, for John Andrews, I have linked our TrioTech account. I ignored John.Andrews and I linked our account. Now let's see team, how that account will be tagged to the employee. Let me save, click on save and close. I did already. It's still loading. Now it's saved. Now, if you want, go to the security console as a HR admin and check that account team. Come to tools, come to security console. Okay. Then come to users and search with our TrioTech. Search with our TrioTech. Yesterday, I created TrioTech, just a user account. No employee record is there. But now when I'm searching with TrioTech, see, John Andrews, his email coming up here. When I click on that, see, the person information is coming, see. First name, John, last name, Andrews. Then that worker name, his person number, manager, his job, business unit. Worker details are coming to our TrioTech because we linked our accounting. So in this way, we have the provision also to create the user account, first of all, directly. And after hiring the employee record, if you want to tag this existing account to that employee, you can do that. We have many options that where we can do that kind of customizations. So going forward, you can get such kind of scenarios more once we practically hire the employee in the system in the core HR mode. Okay. So this is about in and out the concept of user account management in the security administration team. So one more concept is there that, as I told you, we have to take up this concept elaboratively after our functional modules configuration. So from tomorrow team, we are going to start with our very first module called Global HR. Now, by this time, we know how the user accounts are provisioned. So for all of our team members, we will create the user accounts and we are ready with the system. We got access to the system. Now, we have to start with our configurations. The very first module in any implementation you go will be core HR team. You can call this as global human resource or core human resource, any name you can use. Any project that you are going to work, that is, if it is an implementation project, the fundamental basic module will be core HR. Why? Because I told you already yesterday, team. Because in the core HR module only, the entire employee management will be handled. Means all our clients' organizations, how many companies our client having, in how many countries, and within that, what are the different operating units or different types of locations where they located, what are the departments, how they have diversified their business. All that organizations or work structural information we are going to configure in this core HR, and employee will be hired in this respective module. Employee will be hired and maintained in this module. So employee maintenance or employee management will be handled in the core HR module. If core HR module is implemented, then only you can define your absence, your payroll, compensation, goals, and performance. Why, team? If you directly create an absences, everything in the system, to whom, for what you created absences, or for what you implementing the payroll, to whom you will pay salary. First of all, employee record should be there in the system, right? So that is why core HR is the preliminary module in any implementation you are going to start with. So from tomorrow onwards, we are going to start with our core HR implementation in the system. Okay. So we are going to start with this respective task of geographies in the core HR. So any questions as such in this today's topic or in the yesterday's topic, team?
Yeah, hi, Kumar.
Yes,
I have
Manoj.
one question on this expression, right? You said while creating a notification, or if we are doing, can you go back in that screen, the notification one? I just wanted to understand this expression part. Uh, while creating the new, we can copy the existing one and we can use.